Sophia didn't imagine that the man sitting on a bench, wrapped in a worn blanket, would change her life forever. It was a morning like any other. The sky was gray, and the air cut her skin like thin blades. But something, that time, made her slow down. Maybe it was the way he looked at the bare trees, or the way he hugged himself in the blanket as if to protect not only his body, but also the few fragments of dignity that remained. In those eyes full of melancholic humanity, a secret was hidden that no one could have predicted. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other exciting stories like this one. Sophia, 40 years old, lived in Seattle, Washington, in a third-floor apartment overlooking a small city park. Every morning, with the punctuality of a Swiss clock, she crossed that park to reach the office where she worked as an administrative clerk. She was a woman with a generous heart, known by all for her kind smile and helpfulness towards others. One winter morning, returning home with a bag of groceries, she noticed a man sitting on a bench. He was wrapped in a worn blanket, his face marked by a hard life. But his eyes, those eyes still shone with a melancholic and deep light. His name was James, and for a few weeks he had found refuge in that park, trying to survive the cold and loneliness. Sophia hesitated. Then, driven by an impulse stronger than any logic, she approached. She handed him a warm blanket she had just bought for home, and a bag with some food. James thanked her with a sincere smile, and that gesture marked the beginning of something that neither of them could have foreseen. As the days passed, Sophia began to stop by more and more often. She brought James a hot tea, something to eat, and a few kind words. They started talking. James told her about his past. He had been an entrepreneur, with a brilliant career, which ended in pieces because of a series of bad choices and an unforgiving system. Her childhood had been marked by a stern and distant father. "He never told me he was proud of me," she confessed one day, her gaze lost in the dry leaves of the avenue. "I was looking for approval, and I confused success with love." Sophia listened in silence, struck by her vulnerability. "What about you? Have you ever met someone who made you reconsider your beliefs? Let me know in the comments." One day, it was Sophia who shared a memory. "When I was little, my father lost his job. My mother did everything to make us feel safe, even on the worst days. She taught me that strength comes from within." James listened attentively, and that emotional connection grew deeper every day. The conversations grew longer, the laughter grew more frequent, their bond grew stronger. Sophia found herself looking forward to those moments in the park. But as their feelings grew, so did their doubts, the judgments of others, the comments of colleagues. "You're helping a homeless person? Are you crazy?" The words of Rachel, her best friend, were a balm. True love is never easy. The real question is, what matters most to you? One evening, James gave her a notebook. Inside, a handwritten poem. "Your smile is a lighthouse in my storm." Sophia hugged it to her chest, moved. No one had ever made her feel so loved. Then came the cold, and with it, the disease. James was struck by severe bronchitis. Sophia found him shivering on the bench, and without hesitation took him home. She cared for him day and night. When he recovered, James told her, "I will never be able to repay you, but I want to start something with you, for us." They began to build a future together. They visited museums, cities, read books and poems under the stars. One day, James surprised her with a trip to a mountain village. After dinner, in front of the fireplace, he knelt down with a little velvet box in his hands. "Will you marry me?" Sophia, in tears, said yes. The wedding day arrived. Some of Sophia's friends refused to attend. "Would you really marry a homeless person?" they asked her scornfully. But she was not swayed. When James arrived, everyone was left breathless. He got out of an elegant car in a tuxedo. Then, during the ceremony, he spoke. "I am not who you think I am. I have never been homeless. I tested your heart, and you love the man, not his money." The reception turned into a dream party. Musicians, lights, a sumptuous banquet. James revealed another surprise, a donation made in Sofia's name to help people in need. After the wedding, they moved to a beautiful villa, but Sofia remained the same, humble, kind, determined to help others. Together, they traveled the world, founded solidarity projects, wrote books, and changed lives. The same friends who had mocked them now admired them. Over time, their story became a book, then a documentary. The two were invited to schools and conferences to tell their journey, inspiring thousands of people throughout Italy. Every time someone asked James what had really saved him, he replied, "A gesture, just one. That of a woman who saw me, while everyone else ignored me. And that gesture changed everything." Years later, during an interview for an important television program, Sofia was asked about the secret of their union. She smiled, took James's hand, and said, "We have never stopped looking at each other with the eyes of the heart, and every day, we choose each other again." Their villa became a temporary shelter for women and men in difficulty, a place where anyone could find dignity, a listening ear and a second chance in every Christmas. Sofia and James, as they always said, life is not measured by what you have, but by how much you can give. And you? Do you believe in true love? Write me what you think in the comments. If you liked this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.